A lot of talks are happening right now about subtrees for many nations, including Germany. And the Swiss could actually be the main contender for them, according to some people. So let's talk a bit about the aircraft that the Swiss could actually bring to the German tech tree. Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons. Make sure to subscribe. And yeah guys, we have the Hunter in the German tech tree technically, but it's an squadron vehicle, right? Event vehicle, battle pass, something like that. I don't remember, but yeah, I think it's a squadron, right? Yeah, it's a squadron. And a lot of people are talking about how the Swiss could actually be a way better option to Germany than the Polish, for example, or many other nations, to be a subtree for Germany. And honestly, I do believe that the Germans should actually get a subtree. Why is that? Well, the thing is that for World War II, the Germans obviously produced a lot of models and stuff for aircraft or tanks or anything like that. But the thing is, for the Cold War, and especially in today's modern times, the Germans, they don't produce a lot of combat vehicles on the sense of different models, you know. They produce their Leopards, they produce some modifications to their aircraft, joint developments of some aircraft and other, things. But at the end of the day, they buy some stuff, and it's kind of limited on the amount of stuff that we can have. We can have, obviously, right now, only, basically, the Eurofighter. After that, it's kind of GG, isn't it? So, at the end of the day, we need more stuff for them to be competitive and interesting in the future. So, the Swiss could actually be a better option, according to some people, than the Polish and some other nations. But why is that? Here are some examples of aircraft that we can actually see in the Swiss tech tree. Obviously, we will start to the modern age with the F5, for example. The F5 is an aircraft that we already have in the game. It would be pretty much a copy-paste, okay? It wouldn't change too much, but they do use the F5 until this day. And it would be a very, very interesting aircraft to have as a different flavor of a jet for them, because they do have their Soviet stuff, which is mainly what they use in the rank 6 and 8 for the most part, and then they have some western stuff, but it is the F-104s, the F4, and the Tornado, right? So the F5 would bring something different there, and it would be pretty much the same as the other F5Es that we have in the game, right? Another option that they still use to this day is obviously the F-18. The F-18C would be the option here. Of course, they do have the F-5F, of course, and the F-18D, which are B-placed versions of those aircraft, of course. But the F-18C would probably be the one chosen, and it would be another 4th generation, and honestly, the main 4th generation aircraft for the Germans until we see the Eurofighter. It would be what the F-16AJ was to the Japanese before we got the F-15. They were still developing the F-15 in the game, to be added to the game. So the F-16AJ was a very easy, very weird addition, but it helped Japan to have a proper 4th generation aircraft, and not only the Kai to fight in top tiers until the F-15 came along. And for the Germans, the F-18 would be that. The MiG-29G is a formidable aircraft, but doesn't have Fox 3, so it's far from being a top tier, even in BR. For the F4F, you do have the Fox 3s, but it is a very old aircraft, so far from being a top-tier aircraft. These are the ones that I think are the most likely ones to happen, but there are other options as well. One of them that is very cool would be the Mirage 3S that they had. This is their own domestic, look at a Mirage 3. It would be pretty much the same as we already know and love from a Mirage 3, with some small differences. The canards would be there, for example. The rocket assisted takeoff systems would be there, obviously, just like some other Mirage 3s that we have in the game. But some interesting things, like, for example, the use of the AIM-4 and very similar AIM-26, like missiles, right? The Robot 27, stuff like that. Missiles that are very old, and they wouldn't be that good but it would be a different flavor to the Mirage 3, right? They are very strong aircraft, stronger than the normal Mirages, to be able to take the punches and, you know, ways of landing aircraft in shorter runways, and of course to be able to be lifted with cranes and stuff around the caves and hangars and small airfields that the Swiss actually operate in. These would be the three main aircraft. Obviously there are more. Some examples might include the Vampire, for example, which would be very, very similar, pretty much the same as we already have. They operated apparently 182 of them. We could see the Venom, which is another British aircraft that we already have in the game. It would be very cool. They operated apparently 226 of them, so they have had a lot of them. Another interesting aircraft that are a little bit more modern would be a training Hawk. You know, the Hawk is a British aircraft that we don't have in the game yet, but it would be cool. A lot of nations could actually see in the version of the Hawk 66, so it would be very, very cool as a trainer. It would be a lighter aircraft, you know, not very high in BR, not very fast, but with a very good flight model and some interesting weaponry. And even some props. Yes, they did use, for example, an enormous, like seriously, enormous amount of, I mean, for the time it wasn't, but still, of BF-109s, for example. Yeah, they did use BF-109s. They did use some P-51s after the war. Some other weirder aircraft earlier, before the war. Some Potes aircraft, the Mosquito, they operated 2 of them apparently. So there are many, many little aircraft from older age that can be added, but this would be the main ones, right? And it would actually bring a different kind of idea behind the German tech tree, with the help of a small nation that can actually bring exactly what the Germans need. And to be honest, even in the future, although yes, the F-35 eventually, in a very, very long time frame, will be added to the German tech tree anyway, it's another aircraft that can be added for the Swiss, since they ordered that aircraft. They did try to order the Gripen, but apparently there was a popular vote, which was something very interesting to see. A plebiscite, I think it's called, right? In English. That basically the population just didn't want it to be bought, but still, it would be interesting to see. Probably not added at all, but still. So many, many options for many, many interesting positions of lacking aircraft for the Germans. So let me know in the comments what you think about these aircraft and if they are good options or not, if we should see them. Of course, they wouldn't be too much of a subtree. They would be more spread around throughout the tech tree, you know. So it would be interesting just to fill some gaps that we need filling. One of them is a top tier 4th generation jet that fires AIM-120s in the top ranks of the German tech tree that we don't have yet. And to be honest, the Eurofighter might take a while, so why not add the F-18, right? At least. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about the Swiss coming to the game, if they ever get added. And I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye. See ya.